Wait, that's just a call conversation. Singapore, Australia,
Nikolai. Look at this. Cool. Ooh, look at this. Herbs.
Oh, yeah. You just wanted to do it. No, it's so bad. The only good is like the stuff is so good. It's just like straight methods. Yeah, but it's just like pizza and stuff.
I purchased this little Bluff Said, Are Ye Dead? A guide to the many graveyards of New England with the purpose of expanding knowledge of their value and to catalog the stones of those interred therein. dedicated to the cemeteries, to the people that maintain them, to the people that restore them, to the craftsmen that carve the stones, and to the people that lie buried beneath. This book has endeavored wherever possible to faithfully recreate the gravestones as they were observed by the author. This includes various idiosyncrasies such as asymmetrical design, misspelled, misused or omitted words, and imperfections in the stone due to weathering or collision. These imperfections add to the character and value of the stone as an artistic, historic, and personal object. Many gravestones share epithets and motifs, but their distinct qualities set them apart from one another as works made by human hands for someone who was once loved as a partner, a parent, a child, or a friend. So she just talks about like what kind of got her into this. And she talks about how some properties get sold with family plots. So here we go. In memory of Mr. Taley Parkhurst, who died July 11th, 1802, and the 73 year his age. It looks like ground. My flesh shall slumber in the ground till the last trumpets joyful sound, then burst the tomb with glad, and in my Saviour's image rise. This was found in South Royalton Village Cemetery, South Royalton, Vermont. Here's one from West Lebanon. Mrs. Alice Wright died April 6, 1809, in her 34th year, wife of Mr. Abel Wright. Friends, retire, prepared, be when God calls you to follow me. So there's all of these different headstones. And I just like picking up like little things like this that are, you can tell, you know, it looks like she had this printed herself. There's no publication. It's just this little, so I picked this up. I don't know the name of the bookstore in Hanover, but it's really cute. It has a little coffee shop in it. I got another like little book and a sticker and this. And the old grave sites there, you know, are interesting. And it's interesting to me because my mom's family has their own family cemetery as well on the land that her father's family owned for hundreds of years. And luckily the plot, it's not attached to anyone's particular land, if that makes sense. Like it's run by its own, her cousins maintain it. It's basically in a trust. And so my parents already are like, your sister, your niece and nephew, you and Nikolai, you're all gonna get buried here, and we'll just let the trust know and da-da-da. Yeah, so how cool is this? This is my family's own cemetery. And it's been here since like 17 something, whenever Vermont came about. I think the old graves are this way. 1857, 33 years old. 1825 on this one.
1863.
Yeah, oh, death. 1860, 57. This one is almost completely washed out.
1887.
This one, look, you can't even see it. Is that the right side? Sorry, I don't want to step on you. 1880. Is that 1885? And then we have just a baby right here. Well, there's really old ones right here too that you can't even see. They're just like concrete slabs. Like, look at this one. It's almost completely... Okay, here we go. 1880. $1826, $1847. So okay, that's fairly recent. I'm sorry, I'm stepping on your grave. This says Sarah, wife of Captain, is that Luke? Died February 25th, 1815, in her 17th year. Children and friends. Children and friends, as you pass something, any eye on me, remember you are something to family. And then this one we can't read at all. This one is 1830. I think the oldest ones are over here where they're just little. I'm thinking so. Because look at this.
Oh yeah, they're faded.
They're totally... This was 25.
Because that one's older than this one. This is 1847.
18. This one is 1841. Does that say 1815?
That's what it looks like, yeah.
So it could be 1815.
Yeah,
This is
older.
1827. There's 1842.
So it looks like the wife and then the children or something.
And these little ones don't have anything. 1811. And then look at these tiny ones. I think these might be the children.
1814 it looks like.
$1814, age 60, and then I can't read what it says. And then we have, what is that, 1820? And this person fought in one of the wars. What would that be? Okay, and then we have Captain Benjamin Davis, died December 9th, 1833. So it looks like we have two, like, military. We have a captain, and we have another, I think this is Captain, it just says Captain B. Davis.
It looks like a bunch of
Yeah, they all fought in the wars. 1862, 1850. So yeah, I think this one's 1832.
They're born, died in 1880.
This is most likely where Nikolai and I will be buried too. I do find it interesting to, see these old graveyards because a lot of people, back in the day did have their own land and then the family just got buried out back. I know where my parents live now, there is a plot that's similar for the people who grew up and lived in that town that they live in now. And it's funny because as a child, growing up, the neighbor kids and we used to ride our bikes, and we would go to the park, and really the park is the outside of the graveyard. And there was an old schoolhouse, so it's been renovated obviously into somebody's home. And then there's the graveyard and a little park. And we used to play softball in that park. We never went into the graveyard. Like, that wasn't part of my, I didn't even think of that. But, you know, and we didn't go. Maybe we should have gone. We just went to the family plot. So this has further reading and resources. We've got the Farber Gravestone Collection, and that has digital photos of over 9,000 New England graves, most predating the 19th century. Then there's findagrave.org, the Order of the Good Death, early American gravestones, object lessons, in Mementorium. So this is actually a zine, a beautiful little zine of New England grave art and epitaphs. And then she's calling for submissions. Seen a neat grave recently, live in New England and know about an interesting cemetery. Don't live in New England and know about an interesting cemetery. Read an interesting book about the morbid or macabre. Have anything to share about cemeteries, gravestones, burial practices, and the cultural and artistic practices surrounding death and dying. I would love to know about it. You can DM me on Instagram at Kyler Keating or email me at kylerkeating@gmail.com. Please tell me about your own graveyard ramblings. If this zine inspires you to get out and explore a local cemetery, I would be pretty happy about it. If you're interested in exploring cemeteries yourself, make sure that you're not trespassing, that you observe all posted signs, and treat the site with respect. So this is this last one. Sacred to the memory of Kyler Keating. Oh, this would be her gravesite, who departed this life. That must be when she did the zine. She's only 29 years old. Though you may weep to see my grave, fall not into despair. Remember that I loved you, dear, and find your comfort there. So we have KylerKeating.com, copyright 2021 to 2025. So I just found this cute little zine. I miss zines, y'all, so much. I love magazines. I collected magazines. I had collections of fashion magazines from my teens. Even the Sedona Emergence magazine. Like, I love homemade zines. I love mass-produced zines, like magazines. And I know that magazines are just about selling things. I mean, so zines like this are really cool because they're typically not selling you things. It's just someone's passion project. So I think it's really cool that the library there, that the bookstore there is selling zines. And oh my gosh, they still have magazines, like a whole wall. I haven't seen magazines like this many magazines in like 10 years, 13 years. Let me be more realistic. That is awesome. I'm gonna go crazy. You know, they have message boards and resources, and I just really miss bookstores like that where you can go sit down and have coffee and look at books and just be around people. I miss that so much, especially since in the early 2000s, I worked for Borders Books and Music, and that will forever be one of my favorite jobs. I'm so sad that Borders is gone. I worked there off and on and part-time and temporary, like from the minute that store opened up till it shut down. When I was around, whenever I was in town, I always knew that the general manager, the GM, would hire me back, and I love that store so much. Now they have Books A Million, and a small Barnes and Noble has just opened up, but I don't like Barnes and Nobles that much. I would go to Hanover over going there and going to this bookstore because it was just so cool. And plus, Hanover, I always loved hanging out in Hanover because they always have like the best coffee shops and the best pastries, good restaurants that would, you know, at night like turn into like dance clubs. And Hanover was just, for me, always like the place I wanted to hang out. Now, when we were there, I hung out with my 25-year-old nephew and his fiance, and like they go all out into like middle of nowhere Vermont. Like they like to go to these like obscure places. And this is the cute little town of Bethel, Vermont. I never really hung out here. I'm meeting my nephew. It's so cute. This is a stained glass and mosaic arts teaching studio. Like, how cool is that? They're having something called the Forward Festival. I don't know what that is. We went to a gay bar in this really small town in the middle of nowhere in Vermont. And it's just so funny. We had pizza, even though, you know, we shouldn't. It just smelled so good, and everyone, it's so crazy. Like, we went to play trivia and people are like going next door and getting pizza. So we went next door and we got pizza and shared it with everybody and had drinks at the bar and played trivia. And it cracks me up. I'm like, in my mind, Vermont is still the Vermont from like the 80s. It was uncool. It was unhip. It was, you know, just a bunch of hippies and people who just wanted to live quietly and like unassuming lives. And there was really never anything to do in Vermont. Like, but we went to like a farm and they were having music and they had cider. But and mead. I do have to say I love the mead from Arizona and New Mexico like way better. The mead we had was it wasn't sweet. It was kind of like sour. It wasn't my favorite. I didn't love it. It was just really fun. Kyle's fiance took me, we hung out at this really cool coffee shop in Woodstock, Vermont. Oh, I'll post pictures. It was just, you know, it was fun. I'm so happy I got to hang out with my nephew and his fiance. I love them to death. I love them so much. And they're just amazing.
Yeah. Did Rachel warm that for you? Yeah. Okay. I'll have to talk with the guy because the baker to figure out. Yeah. I feel like they weren't. I'd say they didn't go into that first.
Oh yeah, we drove all the way up there. I told us, sorry, we're closing the road.
People in there eating, we were there.
Travel all the way from Woodstock. Sorry.
It's supposed to be open till 2, something like that.
Working up your home. Well, it was very abrupt.
Human beings, and it's just fun. Like, I love getting to go explore these things, because like I said, when I was his age, and I did live there, I lived in Vermont at his age, and I didn't go to those like places. Like I don't think I would have even thought, like, because my hangout spot was Hanover or going to Boston. So you know, back then I knew Boston and like where to go. And I even think like if I moved back, like I would still probably hang out in Boston mainly, and like southern New Hampshire and Hanover. Just because that is kind of like more my vibe. But it was fun. It was fun. I like getting to experience new things. And there was actually a music festival going on the first weekend we showed up. So there was I think it was a Green Day cover band, and they were really good. And it was so fun. It was so refreshing to see people actually dancing. And I was like, has the Upper Valley gotten cool? And yeah, it just, you know, we went back in 2022 and I was going to do videos on my old channel, and I never made it. I did about our experience in New Orleans, and I did about our time in Austin, Texas. And by the time I did those 2 videos, I was done. I didn't want to do any more videos. I didn't want to like do anything else. So those pictures and clips are just sitting on my phone, and maybe I'll include some of those here in this video. But I just wanted to have this up for Day of the Dead, for All Souls Day, for honoring the dead and hopefully not the forgotten. So I just think this is just really, really such a cool zine. And I just finished watching season 1 and 2 of Fright Crew, and that of course takes place in New Orleans and the cemeteries there, which of course are beautiful. When we were in New Orleans, we didn't go on any of the cemetery tours, but you could see, you know, over the walls. We just felt like $25 to go into a cemetery was a lot of money. We actually went into some cemeteries. We went into one that wasn't, you didn't have to pay to get into. And it was still such a beautiful cemetery. And it is interesting to see cemeteries in different parts of the country. And probably, I mean, I haven't really traveled outside of North America other than to the Bahamas, but I'm sure it'd be interesting to see how other countries do their burials and how that is taken care of. Now, my sister, she gets all upset when my parents tell her her and her husband and her family will be buried there in the family plot. Like, she gets so upset. Like, she thinks it's so morbid and she doesn't want to think about it. And Nikolai and I are like, okay, cool, sounds good. I mean, I already have my plans. I already know Nikolai's plans, but his can't be done, so he's fine settling being buried in our family plot. But yeah, I will stop rambling now. Thanks for watching. Wishing you all happiness, love. Remember your ancestors, and have fun and keep on shuffling. Bye, y'all.